In the previous slokas, it was mentioned about reaching the Satyaloka by airplane. That's about a progressive yogi, how he reaches the Satyaloka. And here it is mentioned that in Satyaloka, Nayatra Shoko, Najara Namrutyu. There is no shoka, bereavement, no old age, namrutyu, even death is also not there. Na artihi, no pain, na udvega, no anxiety. So very ideal situations. But then still they also feel kutaschid, sometimes krupayanidam, they become compassionate, sympathetic, for whom duranta dukkha prabhava, they become compassionate towards the ignorant who have become entangled in duranta dukkha, unsurpassable miseries. Nobody can surpass these miseries. And prabhava anudarshanat. And so they will be entangled in this repeated birth and death. So that's what is explained in the shoka. Today it is mentioned about, of course, the popular, the director and the producer of Bahubali visiting our Akshapatra. There is a news. That's somebody from cinema industry coming. That's first time. And somewhere below that there is one more news from the same cinema industry. That is one humorous actor, Vijay, I think. I don't know whether some of you may be knowing. At least we don't know. We got disconnected from cinema industry, fortunately, for many years. For me, it's 2 generations. Sometimes they say, have you seen, do you know this actor, do you know that actress? We said we don't know anybody. Recently also when Rajamouli came, when I was about to go from the kitchen, some names, I was mentioning about some names. We are seeing stars, we don't know any of them. So anyway, but then we have an opportunity now, just few days more, we'll all be able to go and see the movie on Prabhupada. So that would be, I mentioned also, after 22 years, I am going to a theatre. So Prabhupada's, that movie and that mercy, Prabhupada's mercy has been explained in that movie. So that's how we are also getting a chance. So unfortunately this actor, supposed to be a hasya, that means humor. He creates happiness in others by his jokes. So this joking actor, unfortunately today he committed suicide. Today means yesterday. He made thousands to laugh and finally he committed suicide. And he wrote some issue with the wife and some issue with the wife's lawyers who are all threatening and blackmailing him. And these are the circumstances. Anyway, he committed suicide like that. So, situation has become completely duranta dukkha, unsurpassable miseries people are passing through. The situation has become very serious, very worst. And people are, they don't have any krupaya, no compassion for anybody, their own family members, own children, own husband, own family, own wife. What to talk about the neighbor? In city particularly, nobody knows their neighbors. Of course, everybody knows us. We are very famous neighbors. Not because they like us, but because we do loud kirtans. So everybody knows that, okay, some people here. Otherwise, they'll be deep inside their houses and then nobody knows the neighbors. Or maybe one or two, just immediate neighbor they may know. And next to that, who is there, nobody knows. This is the kind of situation. And so people are all shokaha, bereavement. Everybody is dahyamanaha. They are burning with shoka and all these things. So Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that as long as one doesn't take advantage of the authorized knowledge which is coming in disciplic succession, the ignorance cannot be removed, and as long as there is ignorance, then duranta dukkha, these unsurpassable miseries will not go away from the lives of the people. So the solution to ignorance or the solution to miseries is the knowledge received in disciplic succession. In the purport, Prabhupada defines what is disciplic succession. Sometimes whenever I cover Guru issue, in our movement there is a discussion about the Guru Parampara. One of the accusations the other camp makes is that we stopped the parampara. We don't have any parampara. After Prabhupada there is nobody, so you have stopped the parampara. You have nobody to look after. So anyway, for the folk boys I am going to cover elaborately, and I already gave the class for the other congregation. So here if you see, what is disciplic succession? Prabhupada is saying disciplic succession means to keep the spirit of the knowledge as it is. This is important point. Disciplic succession means to keep the spirit of the knowledge. That means the understanding of the knowledge as it is. As soon as somebody twists that knowledge or interprets it, then the disciplic succession is broken. But as long as somebody keeps the spirit of that knowledge intact, then it will have the potency. The entire disciplic force will be behind that knowledge. It will have potency and it will touch the soul. Otherwise, it will not have that potency. For example, if you make changes in Bhagavad Gita as it is, which they have done, around 5,000 to 6,000 changes they have made. So those changed statements will not have any potency. But the statements which are intact, which Prabhupada has mentioned, there is a force. There is a spiritual potency in those statements. Anybody who reads those statements, their life will be changed. Like recently in WhatsApp, somebody has posted the impact of book distribution. There is one devotee called Badrinarayan Das. He has posted one article. In New York, they are doing book distribution door to door, and then they knock the door, and then suddenly they saw there are many Buddhists are there. And devotees are very smart. Buddhi yogam dadamyatam. So Krishna gives the intelligence. So as soon as they saw Buddhists, immediately they showed Dashavatar and said, see, Buddha is here. They said, wow, Buddha. And then they took the book. And then they took Bhagavad Gita. So after purchasing it, and the devotee walked away, so then they started looking into the Bhagavad Gita. They said, they're seeing there's nothing about Buddhism. Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. So wait a minute, what kind of a book I have purchased? So they decided no, we will not read it because there is nothing about Buddhism here. And but they remembered. Again, Krishna is giving the Matta Smriti. So they remembered that, okay, we have a Hindu friend in Burma. They're all Burmese. So we'll go and gift it to our Hindu friend. They're all doctors basically. So they go back and gives this Bhagavad Gita to their Hindu friend. And he's very happy. The Hindu, okay, Bhagavad Gita has come, and he takes it. And when he starts reading, he says, wow, it's all Bhakti Yoga. And he's a staunch follower of Shankaracharya, Shankara philosophy. And he says, no, this is not for me. And then so he dumps it in the corner. He gives the Bhagavad Gita aside. And then on top of it, over the years, more and more books got piled up, in the corner. It's all, a big stack has come. So meanwhile, his son comes from somewhere, I think from some outstation he comes. And then he wants to read something, some English book, so that he can learn English. And all the books are all in the various other languages. And then so he suddenly sees a thick book, English book is there. He is not bothered what that book is. And so the boy took it. And then he kept a dictionary. And then he started reading Prabhupada books, Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita. And then now, word by word, is taking the dictionary and is learning words, English words. And then he read up to 6th chapter. Up to 6 chapters he read. He is learning English. He is learning, and English is not disconnected from, the philosophy. You cannot miss the philosophy, in your reading. So when he started reading when he came up to the 6th chapter, then he became a devotee. And nobody has preached to him in the sense physically, nobody is there, physical, they are very worried about physical guru. But where is this impact is not created by a physical guru. The book has transformed the person. And then that boy preached to his father. He became an initiated devotee. He left his Mayavada understanding. He became a devotee. In fact, this devotee preached to such an extent, hundreds and thousands of Burmese have become devotees. So Prabhupada's one book has transformed a country. It is transforming a country. Of course, if he remains with Prabhupada as the spiritual master, he can transform more. Otherwise, we don't know. So anyway, so that's the power of this knowledge. And this knowledge doesn't require physical body. Whether physically or non-physically, if somebody comes in touch with the spirit of the knowledge, he is touching disciplic succession. Sometimes he may be hearing from a physical guru, but that physical guru is interpreting Bhagavad Gita, and if the spirit goes, the mood goes, or the right understanding goes, there is no impact. He may be a so-called guru, maybe opposite camp guru, but if he is saying something which is not in line with the spirit of disciplic succession, then it has got no value. And no potency will come. So this is a very crucial point to understand. Disciplic succession means disciplic conclusion, disciplic spirit. The spirit of the whole knowledge has to be maintained. If that is maintained, he is in disciplic succession. If that is not maintained, then he is not in disciplic succession. He may be in ISKCON. He may be in Hare Krishna movement. But if he doesn't have that essence or the clear understanding of this knowledge that Prabhupada has passed on to us, then he is not in disciplic succession. But fortunately, the philosophy is so easy. Major conclusions were all in line automatically. The spirit of the major conclusions. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everybody who is in touch with the Hare Krishna movement, he understands this clearly. Like that, in various aspects of this knowledge, one has to be investigating what is the spirit of this knowledge, and they should keep that spirit alive. They have to keep that original understanding alive. If that is not done, then it is not called disciplic succession. So, Prabhupada is stressing here, one has to learn this successive authorized knowledge, the knowledge which is coming in successively in a parampara. Prabhupada is mentioning that kind of a knowledge then if you receive, and if you understood the essence of it, conclusions or the spirit of it, then you are getting the potency of the disciplic succession. But then why people misinterpret? Because there are Shudras, they don't have any training. They have no training. Shudra means one who has no training. Anybody can take training. There is no limitation. Irrespective of where one is born, which family, which caste, which religion or whatever, everybody can take training in this disciplic knowledge. And once they get trained up, then they can become Brahmanas. Anybody can become a Brahmana. Brahmana means very simple, one who took the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. A strict training is done. That's why whenever we speak, we are always conscious whether I am representing Prabhupada or not. Whether I am presenting the philosophy accurately. Whether I am keeping the spirit of Srila Prabhupada alive. One has to be careful like this. Then only we can remain in the disciplic succession. If we are claiming to be disciples of Prabhupada, we have to be very careful to ensure that I am representing Prabhupada carefully in spirit also. In conclusion, you should take the conclusion. Sometimes people say, no, Prabhupada said this, Prabhupada said that, and then they conclude something else. Then they are not in disciplic succession. Like Prabhupada said, Yara dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Whoever you see, wherever you see anybody, Krishna upadesh, you talk about Krishna. This is the order he gave to everybody. Some people, they quote this and say, see, Prabhupada is asking us to become Diksha Gurus, so let us become Diksha Gurus. Can you believe the foolish interpretation? Yara dekho thare kaho Krishna upadesh is asking us to become Siksha Guru. Krishna upadesh, you give upadesha. It is not saying you give initiation and become Diksha Guru. But people have misinterpreted these, and then they concluded that okay, we all can become Diksha Gurus. Now there are two types of Gurus, actually three. One is called Vartma Pradarshika Guru, the one who tells you about spiritual life, genuine spiritual life for the first time. Your friend or your neighbor or somebody would have told you first time, I come to the Hare Krishna, they're nice people. Okay, he is Vartma Pradarshika Guru. And the second Guru is the one who trains you as soon as you come in touch. First time when you come, you are saying this way, that way. Then immediately the temple devotees will know that this boy has come first time. He doesn't know what to do. So then, they will teach him. You have to sit like this, this arati, this is, all these things. They guide him. They train him. They tell him what is Hare Krishna, what is the concepts here. And then he shows, yes, he is our Guru, Prabhupada is our Guru. So he is a Siksha Guru. Because he is giving Shiksha, training. And taking Siksha is not sufficient. Our karma has to be taken away. So that is Diksha Guru. He gives the Divya Gyan through his disciples, through the Siksha Gurus, through his books. See how that Burmese boy became a devotee just by reading 6 chapters only. He has not even come to Bhakti Yoga, which is the 7th chapter onwards. The first 6 chapters he read and he became a devotee. See? So this is, so that Divya Gyan and the burning of karma, these two called Diksha. Di and Ksha. Di means Divya Gyan, Ksha means burning of our karma. It's a serious job. Diksha Guru is a very serious job. And he cannot be an ordinary man. An ordinary person will not be able to deliver others. If he himself is stuck in Maya, he himself is having Bhautika Vancha, enjoying tendency in this world, he himself is getting attracted to sense objects, how is it possible that he can relieve us from the attraction of this world? He himself is struggling with all these things. How he can liberate us? Impossible. A Diksha Guru should be a never liberated personality. An ordinary person. He may look like an ordinary personality, 5 feet, 5.5 feet, and this. Prabhupada looks very small, straight, physical frame. He's a small man, but not an ordinary man. He's an extraordinary personality. As soon as his boat Jaladuta reached the Boston harbor, his boat is going, is reaching the harbor, and he left the Boston harbor and going towards New York, or maybe he's just reaching the Boston harbor. So when it is reaching, there is one more boat which is coming along, and during those days, it's a system that when the two boats come opposite each other, then they have to bend the boat a little bit and salute the other boat. So they salute each other. So when Prabhupada's boat is coming, on the other boat there is one man who is near the flag, and they have kept the boat down, and so the whole boat is saluting, including the flag. And that man was watching. He saw there is one elderly man, an Indian sadhu looks like. He is there on the other boat, and that is the Jaladuta boat. He saw the Jaladuta name and all that. And he saw very effulgent. And then he saw, and then when that boat has saluted like that, Prabhupada, recognizing that salute, he just, little bit he blessed basically. And look at that blessing. After 1 or 2 years, that man who is there saluting Prabhupada, he became disciple of Prabhupada. So later on he was recollecting, oh, I saw my spiritual master. So Prabhupada, Jaladuta is entering America, he already made one disciple. Already touched one this thing. So when Prabhupada kept his foot on the land of America, one more miracle happened. Actually, many Russians have become devotees now. One of the Russian devotee, his uncle is in military. He is in Russian military. Those days Russia was one, the USSR military. And in 60s there was a cold war between USSR and USA, America and Russia. This was a cold war. And sometimes around in 60s, Russia silently organized many missiles which can flow and blow up various parts of America. And he is an army, so he knows what's happening. So one particular day, the Russian army told him that be alert 24 hours. now war is going to begin. 99.999 confirmation has come, you all have to be there, and 24 hours you should not sleep. They're all waiting near the missiles and they're all ready. The Russian army is ready to attack America. And somehow the next day they got a call and said, no, the war is not going to be there. And they said, wow, they felt relieved, and then they wound up everything. And later on, that uncle, he also became a devotee. That Russian devotee, he made his uncle devotee. He's an army man. And then he was reading Prabhupada's book and then Prabhupada's story and all that. And then he came to, he saw that the war that was cancelled, that was the day on which Prabhupada kept his foot. So, while coming to America, he already made a disciple. He kept it. The whole environment has changed. There is a purity. There is the consciousness of the whole thing started changing. In one place, Prabhupada says that after a war, whenever there is a war, and after a war, the situation will be very good for preaching. In one place he says. But there is one more point. If our preaching is strong, then war can be avoided. And that Prabhupada has shown. Just by his entrance into America, a war was cancelled. Not ordinary. To drive away missiles is not ordinary. That's a very powerful force is required. Right? Not ordinary. We are unable to drive away mosquito. That is our potency. To drive away missiles is not ordinary. So he kept his lotus feet, and immediately you see the war was cancelled. And by his preaching, Prabhupada has converted millions of people's consciousness. And by his book distribution, he has convinced millions of people about next life, about a higher consciousness, about living not like animals, but like human beings, like first-class intelligent devotees. His books have convinced like that. So you can see the power of this disciplic knowledge and power of that personality called Srila Prabhupada. So why he has come to America? Krupaya anidam vidam. Just his mercy, that's all, nothing else. He is happily chanting his rounds, very nicely he is living his life in Radha Damodar temple, Vrindavan. Happily he is living his life. Good days, nice Bhagavatam, chanting rounds, and whoever is there, some 2-3 people preach to them. So going on. But why did he come? That is because of Krupaya. There is a compassion. There is a feeling in, no, people are struggling for real knowledge. Let me go. Let me give this knowledge to them. In 50s, he wrote one letter to, I think, the Prime Minister that time, in India, in 50s. He wrote a letter and he says, I have a formula by means of which I can take everybody back to the spiritual world. If you can give me a chance, then I will reveal that formula to you. And Prabhupada writes in that letter, don't think I'm a madman or a crazy person. I really have a formula. Of course, that time India is not in a mood to listen to all these formulas. They thought our formulas are with Americans. They are the ones who can give us any formulas and technology. What is our Indian sages and saintly persons can give? That's how. So Prabhupada, that's why he went to the America, we know. And then he gave, and he used that formula. And what is the formula? Simply chant Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this is the formula Prabhupada had. This mantra has a unique potency, a very unique potency. Kalikale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. Because it is Krishna Avatar, very unique potency it has. If it is vibrated in this environment, the consciousness, the cloudy consciousness of the whole atmosphere will change. The collective consciousness will change. Individual consciousness will change. So this is the power of this Mahamantra. So that's why if devotees, they do street sankirtans regularly on all the streets of Hyderabad, if possible morning and evening, all the 7 days, then you can transform the consciousness of the city. People should not be able to escape Harinam. If they are coming in this street, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. In that street, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Anywhere you go, there is Harinam. So if we can increase the Harinam in the streets, that there will be a change in the consciousness. Then people will be able to transgress, cross over this Duranta Dukkha, unsurpassable miseries, they can come out. Otherwise people are suffering and suffering. They don't know how to adjust their egos. They don't know how to have a relationship. No relationship is pleasing. No relationship is able to give any happiness. People are all struggling. And no relationship will be successful without establishing a loving relation with Krishna. He is the central point. Without Krishna, no relationship is possible between two individual souls. Souls are connected to Krishna. They have no independent relationship. It is impossible. The relationship that we are all having is only bodily. That is not called relationship. That is an arrangement of Maya for some comfort in order to fulfill some bodily desires. Bhautika vancha, that's all. It's just an arrangement. They came together and we call it as family, we call it as all these things. But real relationship is between the soul to soul. And how can you have soul to soul relation without having super soul or Krishna in the picture? So that's why you see people they forgot this formula. That's why they are unable to sustain any relationship. It could be friendly relation, it could be family relation, it could be stately relation, country relation. Nothing is possible because Krishna is out of the equation. And people's consciousness has become so dull and so crass, they don't feel any compassion for others. They don't feel any compassion. They have no emotion for others. After the visit, Rajamouli, we told him, please write your feedback. And we gave a book. So he took quite a lot of time. He thought. We thought, maybe he's going to write just one paragraph only he wrote. But he took a lot of time. And then in that he said, I am captivated by two aspects of Akshayapatra. One, the emotion behind this program. One idea that we should feed the children. Two, meticulous execution of the program. And he says, I have to learn a lot. We have to learn the discipline in our lives by looking at how Akshayapatra does its work. And we have a lot of discipline. So I was mentioning, people have no emotions for others. But he could see that yes, there is an emotion here. They feel for others. They feel for the children. And of course, personally speaking, we have no emotion. Right? What emotions we have? Our emotions are all how to exploit others. We have no emotion. But then where is this emotion coming from? This emotion has come from Srila Prabhupada. he saw that. Before entering the kitchen only he saw where it all started. It all started from a window. So it all started there, and then that's how the whole thing is done.